Hi everybody. I'm so very sorry for having been away for such a long time this time. I feel really bad, but I so miss you guys. I was not up for filming and I had no inspiration and everything was just off. But now it's almost Halloween and my daughter asked me to make her a Halloween dress, and when I asked her what she wanted to be, she said, "I want to be Juliet," as in Romeo and Juliet. I was going around and thinking, how do I make a Juliet dress? I had absolutely no idea of what to give my daughter. So I went to the second-hand shop and I found these two fabrics. And then inspiration hit. So I went home with the fabrics and then I drew this. This is supposed to represent my daughter. And from that I made this pattern. And for the pattern I used the old t-shirt pattern that I will link here as a base. So this is the t-shirt pattern front and the t-shirt pattern back. And for the t-shirt pattern front, I measured to here, and then I just made this tiny little mark. And this is actually with a friction pin, so I can just remove it. And then I measured to her waistline, which is here, and again just made this tiny little mark. And then I measured how long do I want it from her waist to the end of the red part of the dress and to the end of the blue part of the dress. And then on the back I just mark the waistline here. So the back is actually down to here. It's just the back of the t-shirt down to the waistline and then measuring out for the dress. So what I did with the front piece was a little more involved. I dropped the neck down just a little bit, not to here where it would have been if she was a grown-up and should show cleavage, but just a little bit. And then from her waist I had measured that I wanted the inner skirt to be this long and the outer skirt to be this long. And when I'm going to cut it out, I'm going to fold this piece up and out of the way so that I can cut on this almost invisible line. And for the sleeve, she wanted puffy sleeves. So I took the pattern, this is the t-shirt pattern sleeve, and I just copied it to a new piece of paper and cut it up in all the right ways. First vertically and then horizontally. This is the pattern pieces and how I made them. So now for cutting them out. I have just for now put a pin in at the top and a pin at the bottom here so that it would stay flat while I put all of the rest of the pins in. And when I get to the bottom here, this, I'm going to zoom in and show you what I'm going to do. So now for this piece, I'm just going to fold it up so that it's flush here. And then put a pin through both layers. And over here I'm just going to fold it in like so. And then again fold it up so that I have it on my cut line. And put in another pin. And then again in the middle. And that's it. Now I'm just going to follow the cut line. And over here, I'm just going to cut straight here and straight here so that it will be a 90-degree angle. So now for the side front pieces, the story is exactly the same, except I'm going to turn the center front seam in, making sure it's flush with my cutting line all the way up, and then popping in a few pins through the double layer of fabric and the double layer of paper. And here it is, the first inkling of how the dress is gonna look, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. I'm going to start by baste stitching the lower part of this sleeve and then around the sleeve head up here. And I've put in pins to see how much I'm going to baste up here. And here I'm going to baste stitch at the bottom from 1 centimeter in until 1 centimeter is left over here. This next step is going to be a little bit weird, but I'm going to take this puff sleeve, making sure that I have the front to the front on the long sleeve, which I do, and then I'm going to lay it on top and lay my short sleeve on top of my long sleeve. With one edge matching, and I do have a couple of notches here, one on this side and one on the other. And I'm going to put the fabric to the notch, stick a pin in it, and then I'm going to pull it to fit. And then I'm going to sew this with about a 1 centimeter seam allowance to this edge. And then I'll be back. So for the next part of this sleeve thing, I'm going to match the top notches. That's just top notch. That was a very bad joke. That's it. I'm going to go and baste these together all the way across here, and then I'll be back with you for the next step. Don't do like me.
You should always
sew everything right sides together unless anything is mentioned. Time for the unpicker. And here we have it. 2 sleeves with a little bit of poof. Now for the next step. This is the front piece, and I'm going to sew down the neckline, and I'm going to hem the front piece too. So now here I have the hem and the seam around the neck, and it's okay that it's sewn with the blue thread. I'm going to put on this sweet lace up here, and this lace is going to be on the hem down here. Even if you have a fancy sewing machine, sometimes you'll need to work by hand. I'm now gonna go and hem the side front pieces all the way up the center seam of these, and then I can get to the really fun part and sewing all of this together. Now for the next part of this, I'll need a big flat surface. So luckily I do have my big flat dining table here. I'm going to lay the front down with the right sides up. I'll take the side fronts, again with the right sides up, on top, like so, because now I'm gonna go and sew the shoulder seams. And then before I go and sew, I'm just going to take the back part, right sides facing down, and lay them on top, like so. And then I'm going to go and sew this seam on both shoulders. I've set in this golden band all the way up around the neck band up here on the back side, and all the way down on the other side. This does not make it easy to sew this band onto the dress. But he is cute when he does that. And then I set in the sleeves. So now all I need to do, construction wise, is to sew up the side seams and the underarm seams and hem the blue part of the dress. Now all that's left to do is to get this sateen ribbon to crisscross across like so. So I've threaded it on to 2 needles, and then it's just following the pins that are marking the places where I'm going through. Ta-da! Now it's ready to be fitted to my daughter.
So here's the dress compared to the drawing. How did I do? I think she looks fabulous.
So how did I do? Please let me know in the comments down below. I think my daughter is going to be the most beautiful Juliet that school has ever seen, but I might be a little bit biased. If you like that, please hit the like button below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button too, and the notification bell so you'll get notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye!